All right, moving item, we would be able to set the objects, for example, the pipes, parallel to each other, or, other objects, such as dots. All right, let me demonstrate. I'm going to use this type of pipe and draw some pipes in this particular path. Here we go. Okay, now let's see how we can create an offset. First, select the offset. Then we would see two options here, graphical and numerical. Now using, for example, graphical, we can specify 2 points, a starting point and an ending point. And using numerical, we can specify a number. For example, 500 millimeters. Now I'm going to move my cursor here, then press Tab to include the rest of the connected objects. Then we can set our offset like this. Now, graphical, I'm going to select this. This would be our starting point and the ending point here. Now, let's say along this path, we have some sort of a junction. A junction, or you can call it a branch like this. Now, if I select the offset again, the path would be included all the way to the junction. And if we wanted to add the junction to our offset, we should do it separately like this. Then if we use trim here, automatically this fitting would be created. All right, let's move on. The next item is mirror. This useful item could be used for symmetrizing the objects. And as you can see, it has 2 sub-items. First one is mirror pick axis. It'll automatically give us this mirroring axis. And then mirror draw axis, we need to draw the mirroring axis manually. Okay, let me give you an example. I'm going to go to the 3D view and select these elements like this. Now, as you can see, we have a wall here, and this wall would work as our mirroring or symmetrization axis. So I'm going to click on mirror pick axis here, and then click on this wall here. And just like this, the elements would be symmetrized, or they would be mirrored to the other side of this wall. However, if you didn't have such objects such as this wall here, you need to use mirror draw axis. Right, as an example, let me go ahead and remove these elements. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to select this object here, and I want to mirror it to this side. So I'm going to select mirror draw axis, draw a line here, and here we go. See? The object easily got mirrored to the other side of this line that we've just drew. This is very useful. Okay, the next item that we have is split. First, I'm going to maximize our 3D view. Right, we can use this item, the split item, to break our objects down. For example, here I'm going to select split and then break down this pipe. In piping projects, it'll automatically create some sort of a fitting on our selected objects. Just remember, this item would work based on the pipe type and the settings that we have specified here. If I want to elaborate on this point, let me go to system here. Okay, so system, pipe, push fit. Then I'm going to get a few copies of this. Okay. Then randomly, I'm going to change their types. It doesn't matter which type. Remember, different types means different families. In other words, we would have different shapes. For example, if I go ahead and select split here again, you can see that fittings would be different in each pipe. But I guess we have some similar ones here as well. Let me see. Okay, how about these two? Yeah, these two are similar. Again, different ones here. Let me see. Yeah, these are different as well. And yeah, that's it. This is how we can split our objects or our pipes. All right, next up we have split with gap. And it'll do just that. I mean, it'll split our objects using a gap. See? It'll cut our objects. Alright, so this was split and its sub-items. Then we have pin and unpin. Again, these two items are extremely useful. Okay, let's see what it does. I mean, what they do. I'm sorry. Let's say we have these objects. I'm going to select something here. And then, for example, let's add a slope to them. From manage, project units, then in here set the discipline on pipe and set the slope on percentage. Right. Now from system, mechanical, here, we need to specify slope as well. We have some slopes here, I mean by default. So I'm going to add a new one here by 1%. I'm going to move the cursor here, press tab, and then when we have the selection that we wanted, we can click on slope. I want this part to be fixed, and 1% of slope here. Finish. All right, just like this, we have our slope. Now, during our projects, for some reason, some of the specific objects, such as this one, might go through some changes. Now, to prevent such changes from happening, we should go ahead and pin the finalized objects. For example, I'm going to select and pin these objects here. And this way, nothing else would happen to these objects during the rest of the project. In other words, this way we somehow preventing the unintentional mistakes that could happen in our works. So again, this is a very useful item. Let's say you want to work on an imported CAD file, for example, and using pin, you can prevent any extra and unwanted movements. And again, the same goes for when you are working with a linked file. So we found out what pin does for us. I mean, it doesn't let the objects to go through any extra and unwanted changes. But what if we wanted to add some new modifications to them? Well, it's easy. We can reverse everything using unpin. See, now they are not pinned down anymore, and we can go ahead and apply any kind of new modifications that is allowed here. And yeah, that's it. These are all the important items that we have in Modify segment in Revit software.